Alex, I spent 3 hours yesterday watching a 3D printer nozzle move so fast, I thought the machine was going to vibrate its way right out the garage door and down the driveway.
Let me guess. It was doing that thing where it sounds like a dial-up modem having a midlife crisis?
Exactly. It's the new Elegoo Centauri 2. Now, they've stripped the enclosure off this thing, which is a bold move. It's like driving a convertible in a car wash. If you're trying to print ABS, the breeze will warp your parts into potato chips. But for PLA, man, it's a thoroughbred. It's built for that high-speed, multicolor stuff that makes your shop organizers look like a bowl of Skittles.
So, it's fast, but it's naked. Practical. But if I'm waiting for a prototype, am I actually saving enough time to justify the noise, or am I just watching a robot panic in four colors?
Well, that's where the science gets sticky. Prusa just dropped this high-speed PLA. They're claiming a 40% time save if you're using their new extruders. Think about that. That's a 10-hour overnight print finishing while you're still downstairs eating dinner. It's the difference between, I hope this works tomorrow, and hey, I can actually fit this part before I go to bed.
40%? That's almost enough time for you to actually clean the sawdust off the top of the fridge, Tiger.
Don't get ahead of yourself. But seriously, if you're a Bamboo Lab person, there's this company, E3D, making these Bastion gears. They've got some kind of graphene-looking coating. It's $60 to swap them in, and suddenly your printer has the grip of a mountain goat on a vertical cliff. No more filament slipping when the machine tries to go Mach 1.
I love that we've reached the aftermarket performance parts phase of 3D printing. We're basically tuning these things like 90s street racers now.
It really is. Every time I think I've reached the limit of how much plastic I can melt in an hour, someone comes along and moves the finish line.
Speaking of finishes, let's talk about the people who actually keep the lights on for those printers. I saw that JLL report you flagged. Electricians are officially the it girl of the trades right now.
10% growth over the next decade. That's not just a bump, that's a rocket ship. It's 3 times faster than almost any other job. I've always said, if you can understand the angry juice behind the drywall, you'll never go hungry a day in your life.
Angry juice. Tiger, please. But you're right. It's not just pulling Romex through 2x4s anymore, is it?
Not even close. If you're getting into it now, you have to be 1 part wire monkey and 1 part IT genius. Smart homes, integrated low voltage systems, the NEC code, changing every time the wind blows. I remember helping a buddy wire a smart mansion last year. I spent more time on a tablet configuring IP addresses for the light switches than I did with my wire strippers.
So, the takeaway for anyone listening who's looking for a career pivot? Don't just learn to twist wires together. Learn the brain of the house.
Right. If you're the person who knows why the smart blind isn't talking to the thermostat, you can basically write your own paycheck. It's about being a specialist, not just a pair of hands.
Speaking of paychecks, let's pivot to the maker mogul side of things. I see so many people on social media making live, laugh, love signs, and then wondering why they're only making enough for a sandwich at the end of the month.
Yeah, the knick-knack trap. It's a swamp, Alex. I've been there. I once spent a whole weekend making these intricate little wooden spinning tops because I thought they were charming. I sold 3.
Because nobody needs a mahogany spinning top, Tiger.
Hey, they were balanced, but the data for 2026 is showing something different. The people hitting that $500,000 mark as solo makers, they aren't making stuff, they're making lifestyle solutions. Custom tumblers that actually fit in a specific luxury car cup holder or bespoke jewelry that tells a story.
It's the shift from being a hobbyist who sells to a brand that makes. But how do these folks handle the pricing? That's where everyone I know falls apart.
You have to be cold-blooded about your math. You can't just tally up the wood and the glue and call it a day. You have to charge for the hidden stuff. The electricity for those 3D printers we talked about, the 3 hours you spent shouting at your website, and a growth margin so you can actually buy a better sander next year. If you don't value your time, why should the customer?
Okay, let's talk about the DIY mastery projects, because I saw your browser tabs. You are looking at jungle epoxy flooring. Please tell me you aren't planning on turning the studio floor into a tropical rainforest.
Look, it's a polarizing one, I'll give you that. You lay down these high-res 3D decals, vines, ferns, maybe a leopard if you're feeling spicy, and then you pour 2 inches of clear epoxy over it. It makes it look like you're walking on a living ecosystem.
It sounds like a great way to walk into a room and immediately trip because your brain thinks there's a snake under the coffee table. Is that really a weekend project?
It's more of a 4-day weekend where you don't let the dog into the house project, but that's the beauty of it. People are getting bored of gray LVP flooring. They want their homes to have a pulse.
I'll stick to the woodworking side. I saw that whiskey cabinet build that's trending. That seems more your speed. Lots of joinery and is that integrated lighting I see?
Oh man, that cabinet is a masterclass in hiding the ugliness. Everyone thinks a cabinet is just a box, but when you start routing channels for LED strips into dark walnut, it's like magic. It hides the fact that your dovetails might be a hair off because the light is so moody, nobody can see the gaps.
There it is. The real Tiger secret. If you can't make it perfect, make it glow.
I prefer to call it atmospheric distraction. But honestly, whether you're snagging 50% off chisels during the Prime Day extensions or pouring a jungle in your hallway, the lesson is the same. Just stop scrolling and start making. The tools are getting faster, the trades are getting hungrier, and the only thing standing between you and a finished project is the fear of messing up a perfectly good piece of wood.
And as we know, you've messed up plenty for all of us.
I've turned more furniture-grade cherry into expensive firewood than I care to admit on record. But that firewood kept me warm while I learned how to do it right.
That's a fair trade. So, final word for today?
Don't wait for your shop to be perfect to start your business or your build. A pro with a dull chisel is still better than a dreamer with a shiny one. Go get 'em, Tigers.